Nice 0, Bodo Glimt 1. That's the big goal as far as FCSB are concerned. It also drops Rangers down to 10th place, despite the fact they are 2-0 up at this moment in time. Manchester United 0-0 here. If they were to win the game, then they would move above Frankfurt and Lyon into 3rd place as it stands. But a shot comes in from Daniel Beligia from a long way out. The home manager frustrated by that. It was dragged well wide of goal within 58 minutes. We await the first goal of the evening. Manchester United back in action at home to Crystal Palace on Sunday. Taking you around the grounds. Here is Bruno Fernandes on the edge of his own penalty area. Martinez now carries the ball towards halfway with up to 397 Manchester United passes, just 149 for FCSB. That suggests control, but it also suggests a lot of moving the ball sideways.
This has to be some sort of record for Manchester United, because I don't remember them having this much possession. To be fair, FCSB are not the most incredible opposition, but I think it's all about what you do with the ball and making the most of when you do have it, picking the right moments. And I think Manchester United started the game really well, similarly to this second half. They just need to try and convert this into an opportunity going towards goal. Isolate Ahmad, isolate Garnacho on the left-hand side, let them have the run into these fullbacks.
Here's Bruno Fernandes, 25 yards from goal. Shifts the ball onto his right foot, brilliant effort off the crossbar. Would have been a worldie from Bruno Fernandes. The goalkeeper was beaten. Manchester United's captain denied by the frame of the goal.
What a strike from Bruno Fernandes. Picks his head up. He's so far out, it's almost 30 yards out.
Ericsson nods the ball down inside the box to Manu. Dalot at the far post. Manchester United lead in Romania. Diogo Dalot has his first goal of the season, and seconds after Bruno Fernandes is denied, his countryman finds the back of the net from point-blank range, and that should be the goal that seals a place in the round of 16. It is FCSB 0, Manchester United 1. Dalot, the unlikely scorer.
Yeah, he won't score an easier goal in his career, but it's about being in the right place at the right time, tucks it away with the left foot. That was all about Bruno Fernandes' strike. Then Manchester United take a really quick set-piece throw-in from Ericsson. Ends up finding it, Ahmad plays it to Ericsson, and then Dalot is just on the back post to tuck it away. And I said it was coming. You could see the momentum was with Manchester United. And Dalot's in the right place at the right time and runs over. It was a fantastic ball in from Kobbie Mainoo. Brilliant ball. But I like the fact that Ahmad picked up the ball, took the throw, played it to Ericsson, and I've been quite complimentary of Ericsson in this game. I think he's played some really good, intricate passes, and I think Manchester United deserved that. I think they started the second half well, they're on the front foot, and fair play to Dalot being on their back post, but it was a great strike from Bruno Fernandes.
And Dalot celebrates right in front of those travelling Manchester United supporters. They have been much improved, as Leanne Sanderson was telling you there, since half-time, and they've got the goal they deserve. And well, you wonder now, could they go on and win handsomely? It's not really been the way under Ruben Amorim. But Dalot breaking the deadlock, and all change again at the top of the table. Manchester United up to 3rd.
7th in the Swedish league, who haven't qualified for Europe next year, continue to hold Tottenham here, despite Spurs' overwhelming advantage in terms of possession. Abdullah's overhead kick, the closest we've seen to a goal for the opposition. Here's Mikey Moore coming forward. Moore with a little reverse ball inside the penalty area. Scarlett coming to meet it, working back round the corner. Has some old-fashioned defending from Holman, who came to meet it, and he whacked it away. Stuck his right foot through it. Straight out of play for a throw. The officials haven't realised. The play goes on. Porro with a deflected cross. Coming to meet it near post is Kulusevski. Couldn't improvise. Yegba knocks it away. Down towards the corner flag. And it's put straight out of play for a Tottenham throw. It looked as though it was a relatively easy clearance for Rapp. He tried to buy a throw and it didn't hit Porro. It goes straight out of play for a throw that Spurs themselves take. Anderlecht 1, Hoffenheim 4 is good news for Rangers and Tottenham. Kind of takes Anderlecht out of the picture as far as the top 8 are concerned. Spurs still 7th, Rangers still the wrong side of the dotted line in 9th as things stand at the moment. Manchester United in 3rd because they lead in Romania. That game live for you over on TalkSport 2. Rangers themselves 2 up at home to Union Saint-Gilloise. Down the bottom in terms of elimination at the moment, Besiktas are the one side that started the day in the top 24 who aren't going to finish there as things stand at the moment. They're going out, and it's Porto that have made their way in. Started 25th and have gone up to 19th. So Porto in at Besiktas' expense into the playoffs as things stand at the moment, but still just over 20 minutes to go. You're listening to Tottenham against Elfsborg in the Europa League. It's live on TalkSport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day. Gray played forward through the midfield. Tottenham have got it with Kulusevski. Lovely ball in towards Bergvall, but it was read by Holmien, and he was able to come across, just stepped into the line of the pass. Richarlison mops up and fires it 50 yards back for Brandon Austin. 0-0.
Yeah, it's interesting that the
to break the deadlock, Mainu scores his first goal since the FA Cup final to send Manchester United into the last 16. With 22 minutes to play, it is FCSB 0, Manchester United 2.
Brilliant play from Garnacho down this left-hand side, and he's so good at pulling the ball back. Kobbie Mainoo had a similar one in the first half, a little bit further out where he's quite erratic, hits it over the bar. Really good play again from Dalot as well to win the ball back. Kobbie Mainoo actually starts to play, plays it out to Garnacho, and it's a lovely composed finish. But this is all about Garnacho. Since he's come into this game, we talk a lot about Ahmad and the impact he's made on this team, but I think Garnacho, like I said, Crookie pre-game, I'll be gutted if Manchester United lose him in this transfer window, because I still think there's a player in there. He's nowhere near his best yet, but I think he loves playing for Manchester United, and you can see he comes in and he makes an impact, and that's exactly what you want your substitutes to do. And I think Kobbie Mainoo, I'm delighted that he's got onto the score sheet as well, because under Ruben Amorim, he hasn't really had much playtime.
Little fist bump of celebration for Lisandro Martinez as Kobbie Mainoo jumps on the back of Garnacho. And that's what Manchester United fans want to see. Two of their homegrown heroes, two of their academy products linking up to surely seal a valuable victory in Romania. And all the talk of United due to PSR restrictions maybe having to cash in on one or both of those. Or those travelling Manchester United fans making their feelings abundantly clear. They want them to stay. And as Leanne was saying, Garnacho has made a real difference since coming on at half-time. Two more changes afoot for United. Lenny Yoro, as predicted, and Casemiro, who hasn't played at all in 2025, are coming on.
You know what, Casemiro, fair play to Casemiro, because this is somebody that's won everything at the highest level, and you don't see him throwing his toys out the pram. and it must be quite hard for him.
That's a great ball by Martinez. Scoops it over the top of the FCSB backline. Dallo forced wide as he brought it under control, but still finds Fernandez on the edge of the area. Here's Mainu now. Mainu into the box, just held off, and the ball is knocked behind by Popescu for another Manchester United corner. 71 gone. They lead by 2-0, and here come the changes. It is Lenny Yoro for Lisandro Martinez. Yoro, who only made his Europa League debut in that win against Rangers last weekend, is going to get the final, last week I should say, is going to get the final quarter of this match. And Casemiro, much more experience when it comes to European football, is replacing Christian Eriksen.
You know, I was saying it must be quite difficult for Casemiro to see someone like Toby Collier getting the start in this game, a 21-year-old. But like I said, fair play to Casemiro, because he's nowhere near the levels that he used to be at, but he still is hungry, and I expect him to potentially go out on loan or have a permanent move during this window. I think Eriksen's had an excellent game. Martinez has been excellent as well. And Lenny Yoro, I think, hasn't played anywhere near as much as people would have expected, because Harry Maguire and De Ligt have been so good.
Here comes the corner for Manchester United, looking for a third to absolutely seal the deal. Fernandez towards the far post. Højlund just not on his toes, is it? The ball scoots away and behind for a goal kick. It's been another frustrating evening so far for Rasmus Højlund, and we're just seeing on the monitor how animated Amorim was as a half-decent opportunity went begging.
That's the things you like to see, though, that passion and that hunger. I'm surprised Xerxes hasn't come into this game, but the thing about Ruben Amorim, what he's trying to do is he's trying to play Rasmus Højlund in these moments to try and get that goal. We know he scored 5 in this tournament already, and he's joined top goal scorer. But in this game tonight, there hasn't really been many opportunities for him to put the ball in the back of the net, but then he has to offer something else. And I think, you know, you can flip a coin between him and Josh Xerxes to a certain degree. And I know there's a lot of links to other players, but you know, I'd be trying to get Evan Ferguson during this window, like a player that can do, when he first burst on the scene with Brighton, now he's being linked to Bayer Leverkusen. Why don't Manchester United try and get him?
Well, half the Premier League are trying to sign Evan Ferguson on loan, and the latest information I received yesterday is that Brighton probably are going to loan him out. I think you're right in terms of a hold-up player, the type of striker that Ruben Amorim is looking to build the playoff. Then maybe Ferguson wouldn't be the worst shout in the world. You are listening to the Europa League live on TalkSport 2 with Ed. Rent a car, whatever the mission, home or away. Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day. 2-0 to the good United. Second half goals from Dallo and from Mainu. Means they are 17 minutes away from wrapping up a place in the round of 16, and no need to worry about that potential playoff in a couple of weeks' time. Manchester United up to third in the table, behind Athletic Bilbao and Lazio, the top two. And there's been a big goal over on TalkSport. Tottenham nerves less frayed now. They lead Elfsborg by 1-0. Dane Scarlett, one of their youngsters, has come up with that goal. Tottenham up to 5th in the table. Rangers, who lead 2-0 against Union Saint-Galois in the Europa League, have just moved into the top 8. Literally, the table changed before my eyes because Bodo Glimt have conceded, so Rangers now have that final place straight into the round of 16. So a good night for all three British teams as it stands.
That's crazy. And imagine if Jack Butler did throw the ball in the back of the net last week, it would have been a completely different story.
Certainly would. Big goal that for Manchester United as they beat Rangers by 2-1. And they are looking here to preserve one of only 2 unbeaten records in the Europa League this season, despite the fact they had a couple of disappointing performances early on in the competition, contributing to the departure of Erik ten Hag. Still yet to lose a game. With 15 minutes to go, barring a collapse here, And that run is going to continue.
Yeah, and it looks good. I mean, in this competition, the Europa League, like I said, people expect the English teams to always run away with it. There's other teams, obviously the new format this year. Last year we saw teams drop out of the Champions League into the Europa League, and they provided that strong opposition. But I think Manchester United this year, there's no reason, depending on who they get in the round of 16, why they can't go on to win this. And I think the fact they're now going to go through without playing 2 extra games, Ruben Amorim speaks a lot about having the players longer for training to try and implement his style and what he wants to do.
Dalot, scorer of the all-important opening goal tonight. The throw it on halfway, gets it back from Mainu. Dalot raiding down the left again. He swapped flanks at half-time, but he's seen a lot of the ball in the second half, arguably more than he did in the first. Garnacho, I think, also has proved his point since coming on, and there's a lot of Manchester United fans who won't want to be hearing about him, TalkSport Network. Still interest from the likes of Napoli and from Chelsea. Both those trails do seem to have gone a little bit cold in recent days. Here's Mazraoui. Thrust the ball forward to Amad Diallo. It's out of play for a Manchester United throw, 20 yards or so inside the CSB half. They lead 2-0, Ruben Amorim's side.
Yeah, I'll be gutted, Crookie, if he ends up. If he was to go to Chelsea, if they're going to sell him, I don't want them to sell him anyway, but if they're going to, he can go abroad, you know, to Napoli. But I think if he was in a Chelsea shirt, that would really, I'd find that quite hard.
Casemiro thought about just playing the long ball forward there to Amad Diallo. He's found Bruno Fernandes, and play is going to be stopped because there is a pitch invader as FCSB prepared to make another couple of changes. Looked like he had an autograph in his hand there as he ran on from the stands. The home manager shakes his head in frustration because, of course, time is no longer on the Romanian side. And these changes are about to be made with 14 minutes to play. Stefanescu, one of the players coming on, Marius Stefanescu, and Musi as well. Didn't see much of David Milescu in this second half, and he is one of the players who will be sacrificed.
Yeah, I think, you know, they've had a couple of opportunities, Popescu in the first half, Belegia as well, with that one opportunity to rattle the crossbar. But other than that, Manchester United have been in full control. We spoke about the passes they've made, and I think a lot of them were sideways. But what I will say is in the second half, the injection of pace from Amad and Garnacho. Amad hasn't actually had much of the ball, but what I mean by the injection of pace, he's stretching them, and they have to have one eye behind them looking at where Amad was. I think Malacia in the first half was getting the ball but wasn't really making the right opportunities.
Here's Bruno Fernandes, edge of the penalty area, forward to Rasmus Højlund. Amad on the overlap when maybe Højlund could have gone for goal. He plays in Amad, the offside flag is up, and it will be a free kick. They've changed both wide forwards there in that last double substitution. Have FCSB, Stefanescu and Musi on, Milescu and Tanasi replaced. Tanasi missed that header after the effort from Belegia, cannoned off the underside of the crossbar. United were only a goal up then. Mainu winning it back on the edge of the area. Here's Højlund. Can he pull it back for Garnacho? He went for goal, Rasmus Højlund, from the tightest of angles, and he slammed his right foot shot into the side netting.
The thing is, you want your number 9 in those moments to be selfish and take the opportunity on, but I think he had to have in his head already. It's a poor giveaway from the FCSB centre-back, definitely, and Højlund here has to just roll it across goal. Garnacho returned the favour of what Garnacho did to Kobbie Mainoo, but Højlund only had one thing in his mind here, and to be able to get this in from this angle, it's a poor effort in the end. He has to go across goal, and I think one thing I think Ruben Amorim needs to work on with these front players, one, their decision-making to a certain degree, can't make the decision for them, but their telepathy between each other is really bad. It's like Højlund makes a run, then Garnacho runs around him, Amad then runs, they're offside, and their combinations between each other is just quite off.
Frankfurt have gone 2-0 down away from home in Rome against Roma. That moves Tottenham up to 4th in the table. Manchester United in 3rd, Rangers in 8th place. On goal difference, they're ahead of Bodo Glimt, FCSB and Anderlecht. Anderlecht 4-1 down, so they're not going to come back. FCSB won't come back here, you wouldn't have thought. Bodo Glimt 1-1 against Nice. If they were to score again, Rangers would drop out of the automatic qualification place. That's how tight it is at the top end of the table. That's what UEFA wanted when they rebranded and extended the competition.
Yeah, I think these things take a little while, because sometimes in football we don't like change, do we? Like, it's almost like when you used to be able to like pass the ball back to the goalkeeper and they could pick it up. It took a little while for that to catch on. Same from the centre spot. Now you can go backwards, forwards. But I think, you know, I'm not quite sure if I enjoy the new format. It might take a little bit of time, but I think if Manchester United were to go on to win this competition, I might have a different opinion at the fact that teams are not, you know, dropping down into it. But I think still, I'd still like the old format of the group stages, I do.
Interesting change this. Rasmus Højlund is replaced by Joshua Zirkzee for Manchester United. And I wonder, is that a reaction from Ruben Amorim to the poor decision-making potentially when Højlund took on the shot and he should have cut it back for Garnacho?
I mean, he's given him long enough, 80 minutes, and I think as a centre-forward, I mean, when I played in that position, there's games where you know you haven't performed to your levels, but I think this is Rasmus Højlund's level. I think this is the player that he is. I'm not saying that he can't improve, he's still young, but from what I'm seeing, I don't really see a player in there, Cookie.
He scored 7 goals this season, 5 of them have come in Europe, but hasn't been able to add to that tally tonight. Stefanescu off the bench fires straight into the arms of Bayindur. And United now can come forward. It's 4 against 3. Garnacho picks up the ball, switches it from left to right, finds Ahmad on the edge of the area. Ahmad looking for Fernandes in the centre, almost came for Dalot as FCSB frantically get the ball clear. It's going to be another Manchester United corner. And that is the issue, as the home side look to try and get back in the game. Suddenly the space will appear, and Manchester United almost exploiting it and carving an opportunity for a third goal as it stays 2-0 to the visitors.
Yeah, I like that play. It was lovely back heels from Dalot and Bruno Fernandes, and it switched out from Ahmad in those positions, and Garnacho did a really good job as well.
Bruno Fernandes to take it, left-hand side. It's going to be a right-footed delivery. Zirkzee makes a dart to the near post. It is over the head of Lenny Yoro. Mazraoui he puts it back into the penalty area, cleared as far as Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes with the outside of the foot cross into the box, cleared to Amaoui. It's been a really good second half performance from Manchester United after quite a laboured opening 45 minutes. The lick back towards Mazraoui on halfway. Here's Fernandes, the captain. Little slide rule pass into Kobbie Mainoo. Zirkzee, I'm sure he was trying there on the edge of the area. He's won a corner, more by luck than judgment. As he tried to pass it back in the box, he put far too much weight on it, hits the defender and goes behind for another United set piece. 2-0 they lead.
That was quite fortunate there, because you'd like to see Josh Zirkzee take the ball out of his feet and get a strike off. But I think Garnacho and Ahmad, what they've had the ability to do is everyone else has raised their game now, because these two players have come in. Bruno Fernandes looks so much more comfortable in this second half, getting on the ball into those areas. In the first half, he didn't.
Amad Diallo, left-footed delivery. Zirkzee with a header over the crossbar, 6 yards out. He was maybe facing away from the goal, but it was a good delivery. Just couldn't quite squeeze at the right side of the post.
Yeah, good ball in again from Ahmad. It was difficult for Zirkzee. He was already past the front post to be able to guide it back on the frame of the goal.
So United finishing 3rd, Tottenham finishing 4th, Rangers occupying the final automatic spot as FCSB come forward. That's a good save by Bayindur. It was Baluta, the substitute, snapshot, right-footed, made himself big, the United goalkeeper, and turns it behind for a corner.
Yeah, good save from Bayindur, but I'd expect the goalkeeper, the height of it from Baluta was it was at the goalkeeper's height. It was a really good ball through, and it was a decent save in the end.
Again, a warning sign, though, that this game is not quite won yet. It's their first shot on target, FCSB. It's taken into the 83rd minute. Of course, the effort against the underside of the bar doesn't count. It's a poor effort from Radovonic from 25 yards out, sweeps his left-footed shot wide, and United have 7 minutes plus stoppage time to navigate. You're listening to the Europa League live on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car, whatever the mission, home or away. Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day. United closing in on a 3rd straight victory, the opportunity to make it 4 in a row at home to Palace in the Premier League this upcoming weekend. And then the focus will turn to the FA Cup at home to Leicester. Gilt-edged opportunity against Ruud van Nistelrooy's side to progress in that competition. So despite the fact it's been a really difficult campaign, still all to play for between now and May.
Definitely, and I think Ruud van Nistelrooy playing against Manchester United will be quite emotional for him probably, because he did a fantastic job in the games that he was in charge. The 5 games he was in charge, Man United looked good, but I understand also why Manchester United didn't keep him on, because I think Ruben Amorim would have always had Van Nistelrooy almost in the shadows.
Great ball by Casemiro, switches the play out to the right, and Kobe Mainoo's really taken the game by the scruff of the neck in this second half. Into Ahmad, back to Mainoo, trying to return it to Ahmad, but it would have been a lovely piece of interplay, but it's intercepted, and it stays 2-0. The goals for United from Dalot and Mainoo in this second half. Spurs 1-0 up over on TalkSport against Elfsborg. Rangers 2 goals to the good against Union Saint-Gilloise. All 3 will be going straight into the round of 16 as it stands elsewhere tonight in this Europa League. It's been a really professional job from Manchester United as Tottenham get a second actually over on TalkSport. And another of their youngsters, the J.I., has sealed the win against Elfsborg, so respite for Ange Postecoglou. Their season's still very much alive as well. United have the ball deep inside their own half with De Ligt. He will just slow the tempo down, and really just a case of managing the game now and exploiting any opportunities that come their way as FCSB look for a route back into proceedings. Fernandes can't hold the ball up inside the home half of the field. It's played forward to Moussi, looking for Baligia in the centre, but intercepted by De Ligt. They've only kept 1 clean sheet in 14 coming into this one. Manchester United, they're going to make it 2 in 2 games, and signs defensively that Ruben Amorim's message is starting to be taken heed of.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the team selection against Crystal Palace at the weekend, because I think the midfield, Kobe Mainoo, I think has been excellent in this game, and Ugarte I expect to go back in there. I'd like to see Ugarte, Bruno and Kobe playing in those positions. I think it could work in those areas, and we know Ruben Amorim hasn't really played Kobe Mainoo a lot. When he has, he's come off the bench, but I think he's done himself a lot of justice in this game tonight, as has Garnacho.
We mentioned before the game that it was a big night for Mainoo in particular, because he probably hasn't played to the levels that he would have wanted this season, hasn't played as much football since Amorim came in as he would have wanted to, certainly. I think you're right. I think he's definitely made his case to get one of those starting bursts. Amad Diallo clearly will come back into the team, you would imagine. It's a nice selection dilemma for Amorim, having left out Amad, Garnacho, Ugarte and Maguire tonight, as well as Onana, the goalkeeper. Of course, Marcus Rashford not making the trip to Romania either, as his future remains very much in the balance ahead of deadline day on Monday. Here's Dalot, scorer of the opener for United, into the tall figure of Joshua Zirkzee. He can't hold the ball up though, and they've got the chance to clear it here, but it's given away inside their own half, FCSB, and then Casemiro swept off his feet by the challenge of Gazana. It's a yellow card. The first FCSB booking of the evening. Dara it was, in fact.
I'll tell you what, Casemiro took this like a boss, because this was a really, really crunching tackle. And fair play to Casemiro, because he just gets straight up. It's a foul all day long. He has every right to go for it, but Casemiro just kind of gets up and gets on with it.
Yellow card then for Joyce Dawa, the Cameroonian, and a free kick for United, which Bruno Fernandes stands over. 88 on the clock, 2-0. United lead here on TalkSport 2. Probably too far out for a shot, though. It's in a very central position. I think Fernandes is just going to try and scoop this over the top of the home defence. There's a bit of an impromptu light show going on as Fernandes finds Casemiro. He flicks it goalwards. I'm not quite sure how that couldn't quite put enough power on it, Casemiro. It was a lovely free kick from Fernandes, spotted the run of the Brazilian, and maybe had he played more football since the turn of the year, he might have been a bit sharper and able to get his studs through it, and it would have been 3-0 to United. As it is, Fernandes finds Garnacho, left corner of the penalty area, only Zirkzee in the centre. Garnacho trying to shift the ball onto his right foot, back heel to Bruno Fernandes, and his effort side-footed across the face of goal, almost crept in at the far post. Fernandes frustrated as it stays 2-0.
We know Bruno loves a moan, and I love Bruno Fernandes, but he's blaming. I don't know what he's saying to Garnacho in that moment, because he has to put that in the back of the net.
I wonder if he's ticking off Joshua Zirkzee for not continuing his run.
Maybe that's who he was talking to, because Garnacho does so well. He picks up the ball on the left-hand side, and then Bruno Fernandes does a lovely overlap. It's a fantastic back heel. And then I have no idea what Bruno is moaning about there. He's just got to put... Oh, to be fair, the goalkeeper saved it.
Comes off the keeper.
It does. It's a good save in the end.
Well, we didn't spot that, and nor did the referee, because it should have been a corner. It went for a goal kick. He booted the advertising hoardings in frustration. Bruno Fernandes. We're into the last minute. It's not going to make a difference to the outcome because they lead 2-0, but he's been in decent goal-scoring form, the captain, since the departure of Erik ten Hag, and when he feels he should have added to his tally. His Europa League record, by the way, is sensational. 21 goals, 17 assists, so 38 goal involvements in total, only 2 shy Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's record of 40. He also made his 50th Europa League appearance against Rangers last week, Fernandes. Third corner of the game for FCSB. Any goal now surely would be no more than consolation, but it's nodded goal was by Baligia, and it's saved at the near post by Bayandiri. He hasn't had a lot to do tonight, the United goalkeeper. What he has had to do, he's done well. Ball forward towards Garnacho, sweeper keeper. He was miles off his line. Turnovanu, and he comes out and gets there ahead of Garnacho. If he didn't, Garnacho would have had an open goal to aim at. Here's Kobbie Mainoo. Fernandes brought down the edge of the box. Referee plays the advantage. Garnacho is back to goal, can't hold it up, and that will be a free kick right on the edge of the area as we move into 4 added minutes. It's FCSB 0, Manchester United 2, and now Hassan is the latest home player to get a yellow card.
You can see what Ahmad was doing there. It looked like a hit and hope ball, but he knew exactly what he was doing, and I'm laughing because Garnacho bottled that one for the keeper. I think if he'd have got there first, little touch around him, and he would have been in on goal, but I think you could see him coming out the corner of his eye. Looks like Manchester United have been given a free kick on the edge of the box. Don't know where that's come from.
Yeah, I think Garnacho was brought down on the edge of the area. The yellow card is for Al Hassan for the earlier foul on Bruno Fernandes. It's still FCSB 0, Manchester United 2 here. Tottenham 2-0 up against Elfsborg over on TalkSport. Rangers 2-1 now against Union Saint-Gilloise. They're into stoppage time. If they were to concede again, Rangers, they would drop out of the top 8. Manchester United are going to finish 3rd, Tottenham 4th. All 3 British teams through to the round of 16, barring any late drama. And if Bodo Glimt were to get a late winner in Nice, that would also knock Rangers out of the top 8. So it looks like Philippe Clement's side facing the most jeopardy into stoppage time. No jeopardy for United here, and an opportunity for Fernandes or Ahmad from the free kick. Fernandes into the wall, trying to curl it right-footed, blocked on the edge of the area. Fernandes heads the ball, keeps it in play. Ahmad can't do likewise. It's a goal kick for FCSB. In fact, the corner has been belatedly indicated by the assist on that far side. Must have seen a nick off one of the home defenders.
Yeah, I'm glad that Bruno Fernandes took the responsibility of that free kick, because we saw in the first half he let Martinez take it and went sailing over. It wasn't the greatest of free kicks. I actually thought that was a foul on Bruno Fernandes as well, but now Manchester United have got the corner.
Fernandes will take it from the right-hand side. They lead by 2 goals to 0 in Romania. This might be the last opportunity to put the icing on the cake by way of a third. Fernandes towards Casemiro, so dangerous in the air, and that's a chance. 6 yards out, heads it over.
To be fair to Casemiro, he does quite well to get on the end of that, because it was a bit of an under-hit corner and he was past the front. You can see he was quite frustrated because he connected with it quite well. But I like the fact that Manchester United are pushing on, not trying to keep the ball in the corner. I know they're 2-0 up with 1.5 minutes to go, but they're still trying to push on.
You're listening to the Europa League live on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes. If you've got a plan, we've got a van. And Ruben Amorim's plan has worked to perfection tonight. Manchester United slow to get going in the first half, despite dominating possession, but those changes he made at the interval, Garnacho and Ahmad off the bench, made a real difference to the attack. And second half goals from Dalot and from Kobbie Mainoo, his first since scoring the winner at Wembley against Manchester City in the FA Cup final in May, cementing United's place in the round of 16. No need for that 2-legged playoff tie as Lenny Yoro wins the ball back down by his own corner flag. We've got seconds remaining now. Here's Bruno Fernandes, forward to Joshua Zirkzee. Room to turn, the big Dutchman. And then Kobbie Mainoo into Fernandez, and they're going to get one more chance here to come forward. United. Ahmad, 4 yards outside the box, into Xerxes, gives it back to Ahmad. Great move this from United. Ahmad trying to cut the cross back, it's cleared, and then Bruno Fernandes theatrically hurls himself to the ground. He's trying to claim an elbow inside the area. It was nothing of the sort. The referee uninterested, and Fernandes stays down as Manchester United continue to attack with Mainu into Alejandro Garnacho. A yard or so inside the penalty area, shoots right-footed, deflected behind for a corner. And I think there'll just be enough time to take it, Leanne Sanderson.
Great play again from Kobbie Mainoo on the edge of the box. It was nice with Josh Xerxes as well. He's so unselfish in those areas. I think the number 9, you'd like them to just kind of take responsibility on to get a shot off, but it was really good play from Xerxes and Ahmad in those areas. You see Bruno Fernandes does go down very theatrically, and it's never a penalty.
Last action of the game, FCSB 0, Manchester United 2. Amad Diallo with a corner, hands on hips from the left-hand side, so it's going to be an outswinging delivery by the Ivorian. Not a bad one, and De Ligt meets it and heads it wide. They've had chances to win more handsomely. Yeah,
De Ligt should do better there. It's a free header, he does well. Really good ball in from Ahmad, and I think De Ligt has to do better there.
We've now played 5 added minutes at the end of the 90. Referee is not ready to call time just yet, not before this goal kick is launched forward by FCSB. But there is the full-time whistle. Job done for Manchester United. They've come to the home of Dracula, but there was no horror show. Second half goals from Diallo and from Mainoo, his first in scoring at Wembley against Manchester City in May, have given United the victory they needed to guarantee a place in the round of 16. There will be no two-legged playoff for Ruben Amorim to navigate, and after a laboured first half, I think he'll be really happy, the United manager, with what he saw after making those changes. Garnacho and Ahmad both off the bench, both made an impact in the second 45, and for the first time this season, Manchester United have 3 successive victories. They won away from home by 2-0 to preserve their unbeaten European record. And what we've seen tonight, Leanne, they've got to be taken seriously once the knockout stages begin.
I think so, and you look at it based upon the fact that there's been different team players. You see another fan running on the pitch there trying to get to Casemiro. But I think it was a really professional performance for Manchester United. I think overall, these moments are difficult, these teams are difficult to break down at times, and I think the difference was the substitutions at half-time. You asked me, Crookie, at half-time if I thought he was going to make them. I said he's not shy of making substitutions, but I didn't expect him to be at half-time. He did what was actually asked, Ruben Amorim, and then, you know, Manchester United got the result.
Tottenham have won by 3-0. Mikey Moore deep in stoppage time, setting the seal on a Tottenham victory in that game, so they will be joining Manchester United in the last 16, and they are awaiting the full-time whistle at Ibrox. It's Rangers 2, Uni and Sangalwa 1. It's finished in the key game for Rangers between Nice and Bodo Glimt, a 1-1 draw there, so unless they consider an equaliser, Rangers are through as well. Time now to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on TalkSport 2 with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Enterprise has vans of all shapes and sizes, so if you've got a plan, we've got a van.
So job done for United. Leanne Sanderson, which of their players stood out for you?
Yeah, it's a difficult one because I could give it to Alejandro Garnacho. I thought he was the impact player, but I think overall Kobbie Mainoo over the